I tell guys this all the time. Stop trying to be funny and just look for it. It's everywhere. Hi, I'm Ted Cunningham, the pastor of Woodland Hills Family Church in Branson, Missouri, and the author of Greater Joy Together, here to answer some of the most commonly searched out questions on Google. Why is it important to laugh in marriage? Proverbs 17:22 says, "A cheerful heart is good medicine." We know the first half of that verse. I hear it, I see it on mugs, I see it on walls sometimes when I go into stores, but we often neglect the second part of that verse, which says, "A crushed spirit dries up the bones." I work with a lot of couples who have crushed spirits. And when I think about that cheerful heart, that good medicine, I'm reminded of all the benefits of laughter. One, laughter reduces stress and tension. It's why years ago I created a date night called Date Night Comedy. And the sole purpose is to gather couples to enjoy marriage and to laugh like maybe they haven't laughed in a long time. Three of my favorite things to hear after Date Night Comedy are "my face hurts," "my side hurts," and "I can't remember the last time we laughed that hard." So I'm just telling you, let it out. It reduces stress and tension. Actually, Vanderbilt University did a study and they found that you can burn up to 40 calories with 10 to 15 minutes of hearty laughter. So there are so many physical benefits that we see in laughter. There's relational benefits with laughter. I love nothing more than to have as a goal in my life almost every single day to make my wife laugh. How can I make my spouse laugh? I would tell you, start with identifying your spouse's laugh before their sense of humor. How do they laugh? And my wife has what I call a silent patriotic laugh. When she finds something funny, she places her hand over her heart, she leans forward, and nothing comes out. And my goal now that I know her laugh is to go for it each and every day. I go for it every day, but I'm not successful every day. I get the silent patriotic laugh probably 4, maybe 5 days a week. But the goal is to go for it. You can make your spouse laugh just by knowing how they laugh. And then I'm always pointing out, I tell guys this all the time, stop trying to be funny and just look for it. It's everywhere. We were in the grocery store a couple years ago and I walked by the end cap and they were selling the Coca-Cola cases, and I saw one case of Coke and about a third of the box was taken up with math. And it said 15 pack in big font. And right below it, it said 3 more cans than a 12 pack. And I thought to myself, why in the world? It made me laugh. I laughed out loud when I saw it. It was worth me grabbing it, going to the aisle Amy was on, and showing her to get that silent patriotic laugh. Did I get the silent patriotic laugh? No. She looked at it, she studied it, and then this is all I got. She turned around and walked away, but it was totally worth me going for it. I do the same thing with church signs. If I see something that's funny on a sign, I don't just point it out, I read it out loud. There's plenty around us each and every day that we can find humorous and we need to point out. Stop trying to be funny and look for the funny. It's actually one of my favorite stories. I meet for coffee with a retired missionary in our church. Her name is Pat Kershaw. She's 88 years old now. We were meeting at Panera Bread one morning and I asked her a question I love to ask strangers, friends. I love to ask my spouse on a regular basis. Have you seen anything funny lately? She said, "I saw it just yesterday while getting my mammogram up in Springfield." I said, "Pat, what was funny about your mammogram?" She said, "Well, you know, it was at Mercy Hospital. It's a Catholic hospital. And the nuns, they got verses all up and down the hall at Mercy Hospital. Ted, what verse you think they got hanging on the mammogram machine at Mercy Hospital?" I said, "Pat, I have absolutely no idea." She said, 2 Corinthians 4:8, "For we are hard pressed on every side, but not crushed." So I'm telling you, if you'll just keep your eyes open, you will find the funny. If you want to make your spouse laugh, point it out. At the end of the day when you come home, ask, "Did you see anything funny today?" And then just run with it. What can bring laughter to a marriage? Well, one of my favorite things about comedy is what we call the callback. The callback is a punchline taken from earlier in the set off of a story or a premise and bringing it up later And usually it's on a new story, a new premise, obviously, but it usually gets a bigger laugh because the crowd, the audience, the congregation, they don't see it coming. So comedy is typically premise, punchline, premise, punchline, premise, punchline. Take a punchline from earlier and bring it up later. And when I first studied that, I thought to myself, why are we not doing that in marriage? Why are we not taking all of our conflict from years gone by? Why are we not taking the things that irritate us and frustrate us? And why aren't we finding a way to have fun with that? So turn conflicts into callbacks. For example, years ago, Amy and I would get into conflict in parking lots. I'd want to find the space, she'd want to point out a space, I'd drive past her space and go to my space. And Amy made the decision that the parking lot would never again be an issue. And a callback in our marriage, and she does it almost weekly. She will lean over after I find a parking spot, lean over and start massaging my bicep. And then she'll just look at me and say, "You did such a good job." I caught her years ago. She bought a bag of those Andes candies and she keeps them in her purse now for when we are in a parking lot and I do something good. And it was in a parking lot that Amy handed me my first mint, and I ripped that thing out of her hand and I realized my wife just gave me a treat. It's another callback. We have a long list of callbacks now. Anytime Amy walks into the family room and hands me Dove dark chocolate and says, "You're such a good boy," it's just a way for us to have fun and bring more laughter to our marriage. I want to encourage you, especially if you're in a season with a crushed spirit, you feel like that you haven't laughed in a long time. Take the time today and be intentional with humor. Be intentional with laughter, okay? And you're like, "Well, I don't even know how to start with this." I just want to encourage you, fake laugh. Fake laugh. Your mind can tell the difference between real and fake laughter. Your body cannot. So just reap all those physical benefits, especially if you're living like dried up bones, right? Just begin to bring that humor and laughter to your marriage and be intentional with it. And I want to encourage you to do it every day. If you like this content, we want to encourage you to like and subscribe, and also check out all the great resources that Focus on the Family has available in the description below. Are you filming this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you are. It's all, you got it. You just file that away in the safe whenever you want to pin me with something.